Welcome back. In the 4 months since independence, there have already been signs of cracks in the stability and unity of Kosovo. Serbia has continued to undermine the government through its campaign to control parts of the north of the country, which holds a Serb majority. Just last March, Serbia proposed to the United Nations that Kosovo's administration should be divided along ethnic lines. The proposal called for the Serbian majority in the north to take charge of borders, customs, judiciary and police services. Kosovan leaders outright rejected the proposal and the UN has yet to respond. But it's possible that big powers such as the European Union and the US could veto it anyway. Cracks in unity worsened when violence broke out in Mitrovica that same month. Clashes between UN and NATO forces and Serbian protesters saw the worst violence since independence. Serbs burning down customs and border posts and taking over railway lines. Dozens have deserted Kosovo's multi-ethnic police force, pledging their alliance to Serbia. Our guests are still with us from Belgrade, Slobodan Samardžić, Deputy Editor of Foreign Affairs at the Serbian daily Politika in London. Betula Destani, Director of the Centre for Albanian Studies, also in London, author and Balkans expert Tim Juna. To Belgrade, first of all, Mr. Samardžić, the new assembly in Mitrovica, what kind of authority does it believe it will have, or is it entirely symbolic?
Well, as you said, the government will be charged in things that are main things for the people who live there. So it means that they can organize their living, their schools and their rulers and everything else. But of course, it will not act as some kind of independent part of the state. So the main thing is that they rely on Belgrade. That is exactly the thing. So they will do such things that can be completed with the things that Belgrade do. So it will be just let's say some kind of province government. But the main thing is that they will be separated from the Albanians, and they will take care of themselves, not to put themselves in the hands of Albanians, because as we know now, the Albanians don't know what exactly to do with themselves, because it is a very poor country. So they can, first of all, they can take care of their people, and then of the else minorities. So I think that is the reason why Serbs want to take
Okay, let's put that point.
Let's
allow Betula Destani from the Centre for Albanian Studies in London to respond to that point. I think the suggestion, if I've read it right, is that the people of Kosovo, certainly the government, have enough problems sorting out this fledgling young country without worrying too much about what's going on in the north. Is that fair?
Yes, it is true. Mr. Samardžić should know that Kosovo is an independent country and a recognized country by over 40 countries. Soon, we hope Kosovo will be recognized by most of Islamic countries. There will be over 100 countries. There is no case in international relation that international sort of independent country, foreign country, organized sort of mass meetings, organized assembly from other country into sovereign country, and this is views everybody watch on the television, on the media, everywhere, and is organized by the legitimate government in Belgrade, and it is even Mr. Samardžić doesn't deny this.
Yeah, but the point is that if you really objected to it, if you felt that you had right and force on your side, then you could do something to prevent it. But the fact is that Kosovo is so new, so young and so poor that it has neither the will nor the force to be able to do something.
I think the government has the will and force to prevent this, but the trouble is they have to get advice from American embassy and British embassy in Belgrade before, in Pristina, before they do anything. So basically any activities, they have to be advised by foreign embassies before they take any action. So basically Kosovo is not run really by Albanian government at the present.
Okay, back to Slobodan Samardžić in Belgrade. Let's go to this issue of membership of the European Union. There's going to be more and more pressure from parties within your country to make allowances for anything that the European Union wants as a condition of membership. The reality, therefore, is that if you want to join the EU club, you're going to have to sit fairly softly on this issue of Kosovo, aren't you?
Well, that is true, absolutely. But, you know, if you have a government who see things in a future, in advance, they can act what they can act. But the problem is not just present. The Kosovo case is not solved at all, and it will last for many years ahead, because what Albanians did on Kosovo, they will try to do in Montenegro, and they are trying to do it also in Macedonia. So that case is not solved yet, and many things will happen. So every government, not just Serbs, but the government from Macedonia and the government from Montenegro will have to have in mind that if they want to join European Union, they must reach some agreement on Kosovo status, and not just on Kosovo status, but on the status of all people who live on this part of the Balkans. So I think that it will need many negotiations. I think that Serb sides do know what to do, and that our government will know what to do in the future, but I don't know if the people can do what they want really without the pressure of the international community. I think that it will be a pressure, of course it will be.
Tim Tudor, what about this new European Union force that was going to look after a lot of the training, a lot of the security issues? It's going to have a force, I think, around about 2000 at some point in the future. Hardly any of them there at the moment. Has the European Union and also the UN sort of dragged their feet on this?
Well, it's not a UN force, and it's also not a force, really. I mean, it's not like a European Union force. It's not like the EU military force that's deployed to Bosnia-Herzegovina. This is policemen and judges and people involved in police and justice issues to sort of help mentor the police force of Kosovo, and to intervene in certain cases where it sees fit. So it's not like a kind of military force or anything like that.
I suppose the point I was making is I'd read that there were a lot more problems in this transition than had been initially envisaged, that it was proving to be more difficult to get this EULEX force, for want of a better word, in.
Yes, well, you're right. I mean, there are two reasons for that. One is because it's a non-grata force in Serbian areas, so it won't be going into Serbian areas anytime soon. And secondly, because there are various political reasons. Some EU countries are uncomfortable because there's no Security Council sort of stamp of approval for this mission, first of all. And the other reason is, of course, because the whole planning for the mission had been predicated on the United Nations mission in the country, phasing out and handing over buildings, cars, computers, and all of its other assets. But then, under pressure from Russia, Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the United Nations, put a stop to that transition, and so that's why everything has been delayed so much. That's one of the reasons why everything's been delayed.
A possible solution put forward by somebody who writes on the area is that Kosovo model itself on a place in the northeast of Bosnia-Herzegovina called Brčko. Now, this is jointly administered by Republika Srpska and also by Bosnia-Herzegovina. And the suggestion is that Kosovo could be jointly administered by Serbia and by the European Union. Is that at all possible?
No, it's not at all possible, because the sovereignty of Brčko is not disputed. Brčko is part of the state and the Republic of Bosnia-Herzegovina, in which it has a kind of autonomous status. And so I think that is really absolutely ridiculous, and I don't think that anyone would take such an idea seriously at all.
OK, Beytullah Destani, as we come towards the end of this programme, are you prepared to live with the current situation, or do you feel that outside intervention is necessary now?
I think it's necessary intervention from outside, and the people from Brussels and Washington should tell Belgrade, if they want to join the Europe, they should stop doing and proposing and supporting paramilitary groups like groups they organize this illegitimate assembly. They should start thinking about how to incorporate the Serbian community into the future of Kosovo.
And Slobodan Samardžija in Belgrade, do you think your government realises, and those people pushing for Serbian involvement in the running of Kosovo, do you think they realise that setting up this assembly is about as far as you can go?
Well, is it as far as we can go? I don't know, but I think that it is a right moment to say what you really want on Kosovo, you know, because as I said before, Kosovo is not stable yet. Your colleague from London is saying that there are paramilitary groups. Of course, there are paramilitary groups, but they are majority on the Albanian side, of course. So all the European police is not there for Serbs, but mostly for Albanians. But anyway, the time is right for every side to say what it really wants, and so that the negotiations can start. I mean, really, the negotiations, not the one that we had before and that were led by Americans and by European Union.
Thank you very much indeed, Slobodan Samardzija. Thank you, Betula Destani, and thank you, Tim Judah in London. Very interesting conversation with the three of you. Thank you for joining us on Inside Story, and thank you too for watching this edition of the programme. We welcome your comments and suggestions. Inside Story at aljazeera.net. From all of the team, bye-bye for now.